Glory to God, man. Good to come in here and get a win. Divisional game, 4 o'clock start. Crowd was, again, phenomenal at home. I really thought that the opening kickoff, set the tone for the entire game. Great job by our kickoff team. Reggie Gilliam, I think, was the player that caused the fumble, and it went on from there. So offensively, I thought we did a good job during the week. Led by Joe and the offensive staff, really coming together, the collaboration, and then working then to Josh, and Josh taking it, really Josh, Steph, and Mitch taking it to the offensive players and bringing the game plan to life and practice and the meetings, and then what you saw on the field, and then defensively being able to get a little bit of a lead and rush the passer and take the ball away. Is what we're used to doing there. So good overall team win. Much work remains. Obviously the penalties, we need to be more disciplined than that, but real proud overall of the team and their effort this week.
Sean, what's the payoff after the week that you had, and to have a game like that, comprehensive, every phase contributed to a big margin? Everybody gets to play. The guys who are even on the fringes are making contributions. What does that do?
Well, again, we came in here and we know we were going to need a team effort, and we hadn't really played team football over the last X amount of weeks, with the turnovers and whatnot, and I'll just start there. So the guys were adamant and intentional about making sure that we played good team football. And I know we had the one turnover before half. Really, even that one shouldn't have happened. But overall, I thought it was a good team effort.
Josh said that there was an emphasis on having fun this week. I guess, what did you see from Josh today? Was it kind of what you were hoping to see from him? Like, how would you assess it?
Yeah, I saw a little bit more of his personality and our offense's personality. And this is nothing about what had happened before or with Coach Dorsey. It's more of just us getting back to, just an energy on offense and guys, like you said, having some fun. And I thought the offensive staff did a real good job of shaping a game plan that the guys felt good about and could execute. And fundamentally, I thought we did a good job with the line of scrimmage as well. Coach Cromer and those offensive linemen took it to heart. I mean, that's a really good defense on the other side. And when you can control the line of scrimmage the way we did, you can be a two-dimensional offense.
Knowing how you've been going through offensively and the change made this week, to come out and put a performance like that up against a defense that is given your team challenges over the years, and to score the most points against that defense of any team this year, is it any more gratifying to do it against a team like that?
Well, I'll just start by saying a win is a win. And they're hard every week, but you got to earn them. And we knew it was going to be tough. To your point, they're a good defense, and it starts up front, right? It starts up front, and then we knew we couldn't give them short fields, and they've gotten short fields over the times we've played them, at least, and because we've turned the ball over, and they do that. They take the ball away, they punch it out. So again, I just thought it started up front with our offensive line, and our running backs, I thought, ran extremely well. James, Tay, and then Ty in there as well. I mean, you could feel all three of those guys in a different way. That was important for us.
While you're there, can you talk about Cook? I mean,
Yeah.
that was a hell of a night after what happened last week.
Yeah, what did he have? What James
73.
73. Yeah, I mean, you could tell he was running with a purpose. He had his pads down, and I just saw signs. I won't go into the detail here, but I saw signs of him developing, which I know he's been working on. So I thought that was good to see.
Sean, any initial reports you can give on any of the injuries?
Yeah, I don't know anymore right now. So I'll just pray for those guys, and I believe Taylor is at home right now, so which is a good thing. So.
Coach, care to talk about how Reggie Gilliam was able to set the tone with that big hit and fumble?
Yeah, I mean, special teams, we deferred, and they came out with intention. And that was a hit, right? And it jarred the ball loose, and the guys were there, and just the whole energy of the team, the energy of the stadium, it just lifted, right? And so it's one thing to run down on kickoff. It's another thing to run down with intention and purpose, and you could feel that in particular on the early kickoffs there.
You mentioned Josh's personality coming out a little bit. Obviously, some more design runs tonight. How much of that is kind of at play, him getting involved in all phases for you guys offensively? And how much was that kind of like an emphasis with the
Yeah, it was in there. I mean, we'll see where it goes each week. It's a little bit different each week based on the game plan and the defense we play. But I just think overall, Josh's play, he looked very in control in the game. Not that it was easy, but it was easy, right? In just terms of he was taking what the defense was giving him. Our players in the flats and over the ball. The checkdowns were making people miss in space. And so, I mean, that's good. It's one thing to throw a check down. It's another thing for it to get tackled. But, and so you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to throw it then. It's just not as enticing. But in space, our players were making plays, which is good to see.
Sean, it's only been a couple of weeks, but what's Rasul Douglas meant to your defense?
Yeah. Like I said before, I mean, he's a smart football player. The game makes a lot of sense to him. So there's a reason why he could when he did. He came in a short week, I believe. Got there Wednesday, didn't practice, and then played. Was at a Sunday night game maybe. I can't remember. But that doesn't. I mean, that's hard to do, right? Learn an entire defensive game plan from scratch and do that. And then now he's starting to really, I think, get into a rhythm of how he can make the defense work for him, right? And once you get a feel for what's expected, what's required, then you say, okay, this is when I can do some things in this defense.
Sean, he said he felt he was moving slow on that 81-yard touchdown. What did you see on that play, and just what did you see out of him in this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I think there's a lot of value in dependability, right? And he's one of our most dependable, consistent performers, off the field, on the field, and I'm glad to see we're using him and getting him involved. And I think when you're playing, when you prepare a certain way and you visualize, sometimes the game seems like it slows down for you, and I think that's what you're seeing.
Sean, we had 27 total yards for Diggs and Davis combined. And in weeks past or years past, when you have that kind of production, probably not talking about a win, how much does that speak to the idea of complementary football?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tip my cap to those guys. It's not easy as a wide receiver to go and get those numbers. And still feel good about things. And Steph and Gabe were phenomenal the entire game. And even when Steph, got body slammed, he didn't pop up and retaliate, and then it was an offsetting foul. I mean, Steph was very in control the entire night, and playing good team football.
Sean, Mitch talked about the need to get simple this week because of the changes and maybe less you could do, and more of a focus on execution. How much was that refocus a factor in what was better about the offense tonight?
I think that was in there for sure, but it was a lot of little things, right, that factored into one big boulder of the why, right? I mean, you could point to a lot of things that we did right during the week in particular, and the guys executed. So, there's a lot of things in there.
Sean, I don't know if this is a better question for you tomorrow, but what did you make of the game that Joe Brady called, and since his first game since his promotion?
Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like Joe, along with first of all, Joe picked up where we needed him to right away. When we made the switch, there was no hesitation. He went right to the offensive staff. The offensive staff really came together and collaborated in a team way, in an effective way. And I saw a healthy dose of leadership from Joe. And then Joe's relationship with Josh, and I think was important. His communication during the week and making sure that Josh was in sync with the game plan, that they had good symmetry there. And then the way he called the game, to your question, it was again, I could hear the offensive staff communicating, collaborating, adjusting, and then Joe taking that and putting it into play. So it was I thought it was executed well.
John, I don't know if you were asked about this during the week. Forgive me if it's a repeat, but I think it's what you're alluding to there. When you go from coaching one position in the quarterbacks, I'm guessing that Joe is not privy to everything that's going on in the O-line room, in the tight ends room. So how does it go from that quarterback coaching job to being the offensive coordinator, where you now need to have kind of agency over all the positions, and how difficult is it to pick that up in 4 days?
Well, if there's one position that does it, it is the quarterback position, the quarterback coach. And Joe's been involved in some things, big picture-wise, prior to now, and then his experience in the job at other places, right, also helps with that. So that's not really a new job, right? It's just new here, and I thought he did a really nice job. I really did. Joe and I meeting last night a little bit before the game, or last night before meetings. His communication not only with the offensive staff but with me, I thought was important, and that's important that it continues as well.
Sean, overall, what has Dalton Kincaid meant to your offense since he was inserted into the starting lineup?
Yeah. What did Dalton have? Don't see it.
6 for 46.
6 for 46. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much, what he had the first go around against the Jets, but to me, it's just, it's what I'm used to when you see a tight end. What I came up around in Philadelphia, what I came up around in Carolina with respect to Greg Olsen in Carolina, and then Chad Lewis, or the other tight ends we used in Philadelphia with Donovan there, and Dawson. Let's not forget about Dawson, and obviously he's been out, and we look forward to getting him back. He's a valuable part of our team, but for a young player like Dalton to come in and develop this rapport now that you're seeing with Josh, it's really good. I know for the quarterback, in terms of when you have that security blanket over the middle of the defense, it's nice to have.
Coach, you know how crucial things were on trying to get things back on track, but how do you build off this victory heading back home with Philly?
Yeah, well, we just take them 1 week at a time, and we've got things we need to work on, and we'll go back to work on those tomorrow, and it'll be a big challenge for us to go into Philadelphia. It's a tough place to play, so we've got to have a good week of preparation there, and a good Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Talk about having fun in the offensive game. What point did you lose it? At what point did you lose it? Talk about having fun, getting back to that energy. At what point of the season did you lose it?
Yeah, well, if I knew that, I've been able to probably win a lottery. Maybe I should buy some lottery tickets. I don't know, but I just think overall, we just weren't operating on all cylinders. I'll just say it that way. And there's a lot of things that were into that as well, that go into that as well. And that's, you have a vision for moving us forward, and that's really what this is all about. Is I'm not looking in the past. This is about where we're trying to go moving forward. That's all.